of animals in order to feed
Oh
on them,
yeah,
because like you have to
yeah.
sustain that type of muscle. So it's like we know what, and it's very inefficient, right? So we know how much it is. We understand how it's, so it's like the idea that we could never know. So then I stopped listening to it regularly after that. This was like 2014, and then he like went back on his anti-conspiracy kick, or he was
Yeah.
actually like debunking conspiracies in a really interesting, honestly, an interesting methods that I'd never thought about before. Like, for
Where he
example,
would bring on the skeptics and stuff.
well, no, he was talking about like Bigfoot, and he was talking
Oh
about
yeah.
like, why is it always Bigfoot and we don't see any Bigfoot children? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, it's interesting. He's like, why aren't we seeing Bigfoot bones? And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. All right. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay. So I
Or
thought that was,
especially like with water, because there's supposedly a majority of sightings near water, and I'm like, you're telling me no?
yeah,
Like, why have I never heard of fishermen ever seeing them? It's always
exactly,
hunters or something. They're like,
exactly,
man,
exactly.
I just saw this
So,
big old ape running through the woods.
and like so many people, bro, I mean, it really is. So like so many people, his brain just broke because of the pandemic. I mean, it is like, imagine the privilege of that guy, hundreds of millions of dollars to his name, can't go to like his comedy store or whatever for like 2 weeks, bro. Like it was like 2 weeks. Like
Yeah.
his brain broke that quickly. The comedy store was immediately open again. They just like pushed everyone outside, and like you just like social distance or whatever. You had half the amount of people. That was it. And his brain just he ran crying to Texas, and it was so hard on him and all that. You're just, it actually blows my mind, and it really manifests into like the cry bullying that you see today. Yeah, you know, these people that are really just absolute pussies on this whole thing, man. And it's just, it's so it's insane, bro. I lived in California too. California did not shut down for it did. There was a light suggestion, and we all have the GPS data to prove that it did not actually like shut down significantly. Hi, LT, how's it
Plus, it's
going?
such a huge metropolitan state. It's like you really couldn't shut it down. I
Yeah, dude.
mean,
We have
even
the
if you
GPS
wanted to,
data.
there's just
We know your phone, bro. We know you guys weren't shutting down. Like, but why are you trying to lie and say that it was just, oh, we were shut in our houses, man? No, you weren't. The China shut you in your house and they delivered meals to you. If you think that that happened in the United States, you're hallucinating. Okay, like that never happened,
yeah.
guys. It's nonsense.
Yeah, the
So
worst thing up here in Oregon was just going to the store and seeing like how bare it was because people were just panicking, and it was like, if we just followed what the CDC was saying a few months into it, because it seemed like at the beginning everybody was kind of confused, like, what do we do? Because it was a
well,
big one. It was like, holy shit, we haven't had an issue like this in like,
everyone knew. Everyone knew what to do. We the scientific community knew. I was actually reading like when it got
yeah,
sequenced. I think it was the entire genome got sequenced in January, and like people knew WHO was like on it. It was like everyone knew. It was just that the
oh, sorry, I
it
meant
was
the
just Trump.
news, the
It was
media
Trump.
trying to tell people.
It was
Yeah,
Trump. It all came from Trump and the fact that like he said that it was fake. That's it.
yeah.
Your boys like failed. Trump was the president of the United States. I just want to let that clear because a lot of the Republicans think that all the lockdowns and everything happened during Biden, which is just blows my mind. I have no idea. The just I don't know. Maybe these people are like were 14 or something during the, when this all happened. So now that they turned 18 for the 2024 election or something, and this is why the Republicans are so bifurcated or something, because they genuinely thought it was like the country was shut down, and they were hearing it from like the media at the time, like Joe Rogan, saying how bad it was, and it's insanity,
Yeah,
dude. It's
I
insanity.
feel like there was a lot of sensationalism in the media with like, you had real sources trying to say, look, this is what the CDC is saying, this is what they're saying we need to do, and then you had other sources being like, oh, we have no idea what to do. I mean, it's chaos, pure and utter chaos. People, like just crazy stuff, but
dude, it
It's just
was
one of those things where I think these corporations kind of get it in their head where they're like, let's market it this way to make it, confusing and
exactly.
create more chaos for sensationalism and money and shit. Where it's like, no, we need to work together and actually get the facts out there and work together as a society, not freak out, and definitely don't say that something's fake if you don't know. Like,
For months, for 3 months, saying that it was fake, and then when all those people from Europe were allowed to come in with no quarantine, no PCR test, nothing to say that they were SARS-CoV-2 negative, letting them all in. Like it, and it's just, and we know by the genetic sequencing of that time, by the way, we know that a majority of the SARS-CoV-2 came from those European airplanes. They should have quarantined those people. They should have kept them there until they were SARS-CoV-2 negative. Like I'm sorry, but that's what you do in order to save 1.2 million American lives. But people don't. Don't care. People didn't care, and I'm sorry. Like it's just you can't be patriotic and also say that losing those people is okay. That's
no, it wasn't
insanity
okay.
to me.
Not only like the whole situation pisses me off because not only did countless amount of people needlessly die, but then a shit ton of businesses needlessly went under as well.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
we just didn't handle any of it. Well, like small businesses. I knew a lot of small businesses that got really screwed over in rural Oregon and stuff. And just because our state didn't handle things properly. And that's,
300,000 300,000 people died specifically
yeah,
because of Trump. Specifically.
yeah.
So
I'm not denying that, man.
it's crazy.
Hey,
It's crazy.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here like, dude. I voted for Kamala.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is I got a lot of people who are like, you voted for her, and I'm like, yeah. Why is it so hard to believe? They're like, because you're like a huge gun guy and shit. And I'm like, well, yeah. I believe in all American rights. I believe you should be able to love and marry whoever you want, regardless of whatever, because it's none of my goddamn business. And I think you should be able to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry if that's crazy. I believe you should be able to protect yourself and love whoever you want. Woo! But
Yeah, no, man. I'm with you.
No, COVID was crazy, man. If my memory serves right, was I do feel like there was some weird stuff going on with China at the time. Not getting conspiracy saying it was their fault, but just I feel like they definitely had a media blackout and weren't really telling people how serious it was on their end.
So like China did some things really well, and the fact that they let the original sequencing of the virus, they coordinated with that. The WHO was let in to sample the wet market, was sample the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and they got access to a lot of the original data that they did do that. They didn't handle it well in terms of human rights, like with the original doctor that whistle blew it. And so yeah, and they didn't do a good job of reporting their actual cases because they had like national shame on it, I think, so that they were kind of like.
I saw a lot of videos coming out of China like during the outbreak, and obviously this is before AI was really a big thing, so it was definitely real. And just seeing people in hospitals having seizures and shit because they're getting sick with this, and it's so rapid in such a highly densely populated area. It's spreading like wildfire there. It's just crazy to see that kind of stuff. It's like,
yeah, I mean, those are the videos of them, of a country that's actually shutting down.
I remember
they're
in my call center job.
They're literally shutting doors in front of people, and people were like protesting, and they were trying to like get out. And
dude, it was scary.
Yeah, I mean that's what a country actually shutting down looks like. We did not do that in the United States, guys. It's wild to me that people think that happened here. It's crazy.
But like from my perspective, someone who's never I've only seen that in movies, right? Like I've never seen something like that in my lifetime. I'm only 32. I've never once witnessed anything that serious. At least not in the level. Like maybe I have. I just was young and didn't like notice it because I was too busy messing around. But
I mean, the question is like, what if we're not going to do that now, right? We're not going to do that for 1.2 million lives. Would we do it for 10 million? Would we do it for 100 million lives? That is the bigger public health question, where it is like legitimately like, I mean, we lose 100 million people, and like we probably won't be a country anymore. So, I mean, so
Right.
like, what at what point does public health matter to these people? I don't
I,
know.
I think once you start getting into, I think once you start bringing in their dogma, and like once their dogmas are threatened or like their bank, I think that's when people would start listening. The
Hmm.
moment they're like, well, Jesus says that we should start, distancing and blah, 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 then I think people would.
Yeah.
But I kind of I blame a lot of leaders. I blame a lot of, economic leaders, and I blame a lot of religious leaders for not hopping on this more and
Yeah.
trying to get their people together to be like, look, we need to work together. And if the sooner we do, the quicker this shit's over. Because it's still not over.
Yeah.
COVID's still out there killing, what is it, 10,000 people a year or something? Maybe
Yeah,
more?
dude. I mean, like I feel like it's just so ridiculous. I mean, it's exhausting, the amount of like information and the Groundhog Day
Yeah.
of just constantly. Um,
Does it feel
it's
like
it's
we kind of went back to 2020 again?
I.
Just in regards to
Genuinely,
like
but
political
genuinely,
climate?
I started doing this science communication thing in 2021, and I was like, okay, like a lot of a lot of COVID, obviously, you know what I mean. This is a good reason to do it, and then doing this TikTok thing like that just started like a month ago. I was not expecting like 8 out of the 10 like people, the guests, being just like about COVID. But it is like the biggest thing that scientific event of someone's life, you know. So
Yeah.
I
Sorry
get
about
it.
that.
No, I mean it is what it is. I mean I'm uniquely qualified about it, which is actually kind of wild because I have a background in population genetics and next generation sequencing, not population genetics from viral sources, but next generation sequencing, so and molecular biology and microbiology and nanotechnology. So it is kind of odd. It's like in the center of like all these things that I've touched in
It
my
just changed
scientific
so
career.
much.
But
It's like,
but yeah, it's just so it's so it's so
prevalent.
weird how like there's just no, it's just seemingly no progress is being made, and we're actually like, it's my worst fear because I had all these conversations with these people, and they assured me, no, as soon as it's FDA approved, we're gonna get the vaccine. FDA approval. And obviously they didn't get the vaccine. Oh, well, it's the emergency use authorization. As soon as it's off of emergency use authorization, I'm gonna get the vaccine. They don't get the emergency. They don't get the vaccine. And then
Yeah.
the final one, I don't know why I was holding out hope. I don't know why I was holding out hope that when they said to me, and they lied to me again, I'm not against all vaccines. I'm just against this vaccine. I don't know why I believed them like that it really is blowing me my mind. And then, but yeah, obviously with Florida, the Republican Party just doesn't
Well,
care about public health. They don't care about people dying. I don't know what it is.
as someone who's a part of the peasantry, last I talked to you, I told you, I'm not an educated person.
Mhm.
So from my perspective, as someone that's, just a peon of the machine, I think it's because there was this. I don't know if it's true. I've never really read into the terms of service with some of these vaccines, but I think at the beginning there was this rumor going around where like if you like you had to like sign something to get the vaccine and basically say that you wouldn't sue the companies if you had
Yeah.
adverse effects. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah,
When
it
I got
happens
my
like with
shot,
all it happens like all the time. It really isn't that big of a deal. I mean, like, by the way, it's the same thing that the gun manufacturers like have, where it's like, they so, and especially
yeah,
when they're trying to mass produce it, and they are going through they're trying to make it as quickly as possible. So it does
yeah.
impugn their ability to make it as fast as possible. They're going through all the QC the things that they did before. They're doing all the due diligence before. It's just
Plus, I tell people it's like with NDAs where they're like, oh, I signed this NDA, but like there was some real shady stuff going on. It's like,
mm,
look, any document that you sign or agreement you sign is binding, but the law specifically
our lives. Let's not. Who are we to impose safety regulations on restaurants? Like, why do we make them follow certain protocols? Remove all that. Remove making the water clean. Let survival of the fittest. Let's take it all the way if we're going to do it.
Yeah. Joel Stein. Oh, that's interesting. In defense of elitism. No, I haven't heard about this. It's just it's so yeah, exactly. Or like seatbelt laws. Don't tell me what to do, bro. Like, you know, like in what way can we possibly like it's just it's insanity. A lot these safety regulations are written in blood, man. They are there because we didn't want 50% of kids dying before the age of 10. Vaccines did that for us. Modern medicine did that for us. Like it wasn't
OSHA regulations. Let's protect people.
Yeah.
No, get rid of that. We shouldn't be telling companies what to do. Let's build it as fast as we can,
Yeah,
no matter
dude.
what. Like, don't make us build more slowly.
It's crazy to me. Like these people, like
Crazy.
we've like science has improved life so much that people are so far ahead because of it that people don't think that it's needed. And it's just wild to me that people don't understand that. They don't see that.
There's a comment that says studies showed that seatbelts save lives. I hope that person is not implying that studies haven't shown that vaccines have saved millions and millions of lives. What?
It's like, yeah, like what was that? I saw a study. It was like, I think the CDC was talking about it was like 50 million kids have been saved or something in the last couple decades. Like what? Because it's mostly kids that were impacted by a lot of this stuff. A lot of the disease, you know, it's just going to be targeting kids. Okay, so let's.
Between school pew-pewings and this, isn't it amazing how the pro-life crowd really is interested in policies that are going to actively harm children?
I did a little like an editorial thing on that today because I'm just like, these are the thoughts and prayers people. They just went to Minneapolis and now they're gonna thoughts and prayers their way through measles outbreaks. They're gonna, you know, like it be these people are literally like these kids are living through active shooter drills, and now they need to figure out. We need to teach them how to identify whether or not someone has measles or not. Like what? Like what? Vaccine preventable deaths worldwide. How many? History. How many? It's like how many vaccines have? Facts on global immunization.
I also saw a really. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah, immunization prevents deaths worldwide. So, wow. About 4 million deaths worldwide are prevented by childhood vaccination every year. More than 50 million deaths can be prevented by immunization between 2021 and 2030 in the future. Wow. It's crazy to me that people think that it's just so crazy to me that people think that it's just, yes, Ruben, that's a good thing, bro. The fact that you have more vaccines is a good thing because they're good to develop and you get a more robust immune system from it. You get more of an immune response and more antibodies that your body can make. It's not like there's a finite amount that your body can make and it does you harm after a certain amount. It's just, Dennis, you have no idea what you're talking about, bro. We're actually talking about evidence and proof, which is something that you've admitted that you don't have. So I don't know why you're here. Also, I don't have any evidence. Dianus is in the chat, guys. Give a round of applause for Dianus. At least he actually said that he has no evidence. He has no idea what he's talking about. Usually that takes a little longer. WHO, the global
delivery on that That was amazing.
The global immunization efforts have saved at least 154 million lives over the past 50 years. How triggered does this make you, Dianus? How triggered is this? How bad? 154 million lives, mostly kids. Is that okay? Can we save kids' lives? Is that okay? But I guess if they just drink some green tea, they would be better. Okay, is that what they're? It's crazy, dude.
I saw a thread today where somebody wrote, vaccines don't cause autism, but they may increase the chance of your child being diagnosed with autism, mostly because it's a lot easier to diagnose kids who are alive.
True. Unironically, very true.
But I saw a TikTok back during like the C-19 days of a nurse saying, you know what, guys, if you don't want to get the vaccine and because you have an issue with big pharma, that's fine. I respect your right to make that decision, but then do not come to the hospital if you get sick, because every single thing in the room and every single medication that I'm going to use, literally every item that I would use to treat you in the hospital, is made by big pharma as well.
Exactly, dude. And how many of these guys are going to be exactly, dude, go into Ozempic? How many of these people are going to be coming for like all these other drugs, man? All these other things. It's like, oh, it's just the cognitive dissonance. It really is a superpower that they have. Like Dianus, like he literally has no shame. The fact that he actually is showing his face in here is genuinely flabbergasting to me. I would not like the fact that he actually thinks that he could save face. If there was ever a scenario where he wouldn't look like an idiot, it blows my mind. But he's here, dude. Like that is so. It's not like grit or determination or stubbornness. It's just like he literally doesn't. It's the thing that you're talking about, where he literally just doesn't know how bad he got blown out. Is he reaching out for help? Is he? Are you all right, Dianus? Are you okay? Are you okay? There has to be someone that's okay for him. Like that's someone that loves him in his life. There has to be. I think. Are we it? Oh my God. Maybe that's it. We're the only people. I'm the only person in Dianus's life that has talked to him for an hour this week. So he's coming back. Is that what's happening? What's happening right now? Dude, that's crazy.
The right is like, we're gonna risk the lives of our children to own the libs.
Exactly, dude. Well, I really hope that that the article was just incredible. I mean, I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised about the legislators like not being able to gonna have to vote on it. I thought that was really interesting. I thought that
Whether they couldn't be like, no, you're literally not doing this.
I thought DeSantis would just rip it like right then and there because of the unitary executive theory. You just rip it everything, and who's gonna stop you? But I guess he can. I guess he can't. I'm really surprised. It's just wild, dude. I can't fathom these guys. It's
crazy. I also saw a comment. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I feel like I keep cutting you off. I don't mean to if I am.
No. I'm just rambling. I'm so flabbergasted, bro. My brain is just falling out of my head tonight. I'm so frustrated and mad, and I'm kind of just like, I'm out of it. I'm out of it right now.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And I feel like, I was going to mention, I saw another comment from somebody who keeps saying, like, don't get me wrong, I trust, this type of vaccine and that type of vaccine, like the older types, but just not mRNA. That's my issue. And I'm like, what?
It's obviously not true, right? Because they're removing all vaccine requirements. That's right. You know what I mean? Like, this is like nonsense that people say this stuff, and they're trying to harken back to that whole COVID thing, And it's not. This has nothing to do with COVID vaccinations, guys. This is all vaccinations, all old technology, all the old stuff that like has been quote unquote safe that everyone thought was okay. So
Well, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading something that said, and I think this made a lot of people feel better about it who read the article. There's an article by professionals saying that, like, we get how it can be concerning that the C-19 vaccine was made so quickly. Like, we understand why that would raise some eyebrows, but the reason for that is because none of the rigorous safety standards, like none of that was cut as like corners to get it done faster. The only thing that was cut was the red tape. Like usually it would take years and years and years to develop something like that, but because the whole world was like, let's just get it done, that the red tape is why it happened so quickly. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. One more time. Sorry, one more time.
Sorry, I
I
probably
just
said
read
that.
the stupidest
I probably
comment
said it a
that I've
little
ever
vague.
read in my life, and my brain just melted. And I never thought that could happen. And I'm like actually impressed. I'm actually impressed, like how the words came together so
Well done.
unintelligently. Like wow. I really love that we're genuinely making waves into these anti-vax communities. We have shook them to their core, and there's so many in here. I genuinely love it because they don't realize that them spamming so much in here like just pushes our engagement up and pushes our stuff even higher. So thank you guys, thank you. I'm sorry. One more time, I will pay attention to you this time. I'm sorry, bro.
It's totally it's totally fine. That was actually really, really funny. No, I was saying that there is that comment that woman made here saying like, you know, what I just said about like the, you know, I'm fine with these other older types that have been proven to be effective. I just have a problem with it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading an article during the C-19 days that said that like we understand why it would be, it was written by a professional being like, we understand why it would be concerning potentially that like it was that the C-19 vaccine was created so quickly.
Yeah.
But the reason that we were able to do it so fast is not because we were cutting corners for the safety standards and testing of it. The only thing that was cut was the red tape that we usually have to go through.
Yeah, which is what Trump did, which is the good thing that he did. Yeah. And we all the same stages that happened on any other vaccine, they just did it one after another as opposed to having to wait. And it was a remarkably good vaccine, guys. It was 95% efficacy. All the other ones are like 60%. It was remarkably good.
The vaccine was 4 years ago, and I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for all the comments of people who were like, oh, all these people who got the vaccine are gonna like unalive at any moment, or all these bad health things are gonna happen. I'm like, well, it's 4 years and I haven't had any problems yet, so I'm waiting.
Yeah. I know how these people were wrong at every stage of the way. Isn't it incredible how they're never held accountable? It's really incredible. It's this hyper accountability for every single thing that Fauci has ever said versus how they were wrong on hydroxychloroquine, how they were wrong on ivermectin. They were wrong about mass deaths on the vaccines at 6 months, at 1 month, at 2 months, 2 year, 1 year, 2 years, everything. What happened, bro? I thought you were going to come up and your WRFK dude just left the queue. Oh. Well, he kept spamming WRFK, and then I was going to invite him on and just blast. See, you guys, the anti-vaxxers never stay, guys. It's not fair. It's not fun. It's not fun. But
Was it you recently? Was it your videos recently that I was watching where there was like a guy who was saying like, but look at what this study says and look at what this study says, and you're like, yeah, but as soon as you read the first paragraph, you see that it's just the title confusing you, and what it actually says is the exact opposite of what you're claiming. Like, what?
Yeah, the testing wasn't rushed. It wasn't rushed. It was when was BioNTech's BioNTech mRNA vaccine. But when was it? It was like time. I think it was like 2014 that it was finished. Dude. People understanding now what viruses, how viral load works. They're actually getting it, guys. They're actually understanding what we're talking about finally. This is incredible. Stella, how's it going?
Good. How are you? I
Good.
just want to say, this is great TV. It's really entertaining. I'm giggling every time I watch this live. I'm
Good.
sorry. I am incredibly uneducated. I'm a 10th grade dropout.
Okay.
I've tried to get through college a few times, just don't have the money. My two favorite subjects that I managed to get through in college are psych and biology, and I have a very basic understanding. I'm going to tell you that I'm an idiot right up front. And I begged and raced to get a vaccine as quickly as possible. Even with my limited education, I understood that this damn thing saves lives.
Nice. Good work.
And I don't understand. I am so angry. The girl, the 20-year-old who gave me COVID, almost killed me because I couldn't get the vaccine before I got COVID because she was uncomfortable wearing masks.
Yeah.
And so I had COVID and I was sick for a month.
Dang.
And nobody knew. This was like March of 20. Nobody knew what to do other than give me oxygen and pat me on my head. I was in a rural hospital, and anyway.
I'm sorry. That's awful.
No, don't be sorry. What I'm angry about is that we have politicized medicine in this country to the point where people actually think they have a fucking say.
Yeah.
The only people who should have any kind of say at all are people with lots of initials after their names.
Yeah.
And if your specialty, like mine, is delivering fucking pizza, you should have no say in what happens with science or with inoculations or anything else. And I'm getting to this point when we start allowing people to vote as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost to the point where I want to see not a meritocracy, but what's the word? Intelligent
Technocracy with science.
Yeah, or a certain amount of intelligence before you are allowed to vote, like IQ testing. I almost died because of people's stupidity.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's true. I mean, it's totally true. There's immunocompromised people that are going to be subjected to this. There's kids with genetic disorders. There are tons of different adults with genetic disorders. Yeah. There's we're talking, guys, like measles wipes your entire vaccine, like your antibodies out. All your T cells and your B cells that are where you store all of your your antibody response, measles wipes all of that out. So all of you anti-vaxxer, I like natural immunity, bro. I don't need vaccines, dude. I just need natural immunity. Well, guess what? You get measles, all of that gets wiped out. So the idea that we have measles just running rampant now, and we have a surgeon general that is just openly saying and allowing measles outbreak kids to go potentially with unvaccinated kids inside of schools in Florida. It's just the insanity of this is just it's astronomical, guys. I
had measles when I was 24 hours old. I got it in the hospital.
Wow, holy moly.
Because the religious-based hospital I was in 1961 was anti-vax, and the doctor that my mother had for an OBGYN was LDS. And
oh, man.
Thought that vaccines were a bad idea. and that formula was a bad idea. So they were feeding me this concoction of condensed milk and powdered milk and evaporated milk and water, because it was supposed to be so high in nutrition, actually just really high in sugar.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, man. You are a warrior. You've gone through so much. Oh my gosh.
I am amazed I lived through it. They actually told her on the third day to come up and name the baby because they needed a name for the death certificate.
Oh my God, that's gnarly.
So yeah, isn't that a great story? 1961. That's how far we've come from regulating idiots out of the field of medicine since then. And I do not want to go backwards. I don't think any mother in her right mind wants to go backwards if she stops and thinks about thalidomide, for God's sake, ought to be enough to scare the crap out of any human being.
Yeah.
And we ought to have testing. Yeah, we ought to have testing. And if you can't document, like you said, this vaccine was actually in the works, in development since 1961. And if you can't show that kind of track record, of course, no. But just because people are hearing about it for the first time meant that in their little small minds, it just now came into existence. Well, no, Cletus, that's not how it works. You know? Mm-hmm. Just because you're hearing about it for the first time doesn't mean it just now happened. Sorry.
Exactly. No, it's so true. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, Jules, we've been talking about it the entire night, for 2 hours now. It's awful. I mean, it's awful. It's gonna harm children. I mean, hopefully, the New York Times article did say that DeSantis can't just do it unilaterally, which I thought they thought they could. I guess they can't. I mean, unitary executive theory says that the state judicial system has no bearings on the governor. So I think it's going to have to go probably to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will probably have to decide whether or not DeSantis can just, with a stroke of a pen, take away all the vaccine mandates. I think that's probably what's going to have to happen. So thank you, Stella, for coming on. I appreciate you. Thank you for being such a warrior. Thank you.
Just before you throw me off, I just wanted to say that because I had the vaccine the first time, the C-19 vaccine the first time, after I almost died, and I wasn't the idiot who said, "Oh, I've had it now, I don't need to be vaccinated." The first time they said, "Okay, anybody over a certain age can go get it," I ran to go get it. I was first in line. And the next time I got COVID, I was only sick for 3 days. And I didn't end up in the hospital. It doesn't stop you from being sick, people. It stops you from being very sick.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing. Does it block all the transmission? No, of course not. It minimizes your viral load to the point that you're spreading less, which is a good thing, because the more viral load there is, the more viruses there are. The more viruses there are, the more genomes there are. The more genomes there are, the more genome recombinations that happen, and the more that can be recombined and mutations are made. So it's crazy. It's just it's insanity.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for what you're doing, man.
Oh, thank you, Stella. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Oh 079987M. I guess 079987N was taken. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, Brandy. How's it going? What's up?
Just Michelle. So it was funny. I was just listening to everything. So was there something that happened that I missed today, that vaccines are not being allowed in the States?
Okay. Yeah, let's just
and you don't have to go through the whole thing with all your words, because you got lots of words.
No.
And I love all your words. So did it happen? And I'm totally for the vaccine, so you don't have to
Yeah, yeah,
explain
yeah.
it in detail.
So
So
we can
what
do a refresher.
happened?
There's a lot of people that have been asking like what's happening, so it's okay. So Florida moves to end vaccine mandates for school children. The state would be the first to scrap requirements that children be vaccinated to attend school, among other rules. Florida plans to be the first state to end all vaccine mandates, guys, not COVID-19,
No,
all
yeah.
vaccine mandates, including for school children, rejecting a practice that public health experts have credited for decades with limiting the spread of infectious diseases. The Florida Surgeon General made the announcement today with DeSantis, and then he said, "quote Who am I to tell you what your child should put? Who am I to tell you what your child should put in their body?" So, and
So
then, go ahead.
I'm up in Canada, so
Okay.
we don't have
Jealous.
mandated, but we usually get along. But haven't for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So in Florida, like, are there states that are mandated or were mandated measles RM like vaccines?
Yeah, that's
Like
that is the mechanism that the United
Like-
States uses in order to get vaccines into arms. Basically, is like
I know. So like here, like you just like child's born,
Mhm.
you get a shot, and then they go to school. And I don't know if it's grade 2 or grade 3, they get another one. I think it might be grade 4, and then grade 9 they get another one, and like it just happens that way. So there in the States, it just gets like you have to mandate them to do it. Like measles and
so Canada's school vaccine requirements vary by province and
not
territory.
school, like now not school mandated.
Yeah,
Like
that's
we
where
don't mandate children to be vaccinated to go to school.
Canada's
Should be.
Canada's vaccine requirements vary by province and territory, but typically include dysphoria, tetanus, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, MMR, pertussis, meningococcal vaccines with varicella, chickenpox, also commonly required for younger children. Ontario and New Brunswick are among the provinces with stricter policies requiring proof of immunization for school entry. So you guys do. Some of you do.
Ontario does.
Yeah. You must check with your specific province or territorial public health unit for detailed, up-to-date information. So yeah, that's how, and that's basically what the United States does. That's what we have throughout all the states, and it's to go to public schools.
So mandated or not mandated?
Yeah, it's mandated just like Ontario.
The only reason why Ontario is mandated is because it's the capital of the country. And I'm a total vacciner. Like I'm not but like mandating. Yeah, okay, fine. We should mandate the dumb people.
Well, it's the question is, and we read a paper and we were talking about it, like the, how you can actually encourage people. So there's different ways at different stages that you can have that social pressure. So you can have different, like the penalties and enforcement. You can have exclusion from school, like we do in the United States. You can have exclusion from daycare and preschool, plus fines of $100 to $500, like Italy. You can have exclusion from daycare, schools, holiday camps, potential legal proceedings in France. So there's lots of.
There's deterrence for adults to not vaccinate their children.
Yeah, and then there's also
we vaccinate children to protect children.
Yeah.
So these punishments are punishing children versus the adults. Like I get it. Like I don't know why people don't get the C whatever one people had their issues with, but all of the other ones, these are proven vaccines. They have stopped polio, they've stopped measles, they've stopped
Yeah,
all
this is
of
all of
these
them. You can have
things.